every lead generation opportunity on your website, you want to make sure you can split test to increase your conversion ratio and get more subscribers per visitor on your blog. And when it comes to Thrive Apprentice, the ability to split test the registration page seems rather hidden. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how with 0 additional plugins, non-Thrive plugin, you can actually split test and optimize the conversion ratio for your Thrive Apprentice registration pages. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so here on our website, this is the Income Mesh University, and I'm in an incognito window, and you'll see if I go into one of my courses and try to enroll, I have it set on the default settings here where it's going to offer me to log in or to register a new account here. And when I click on this button here, you'll see this form. And I'll link up in the top corner here a video where I show you a couple of different ways of getting around this kind of not the best registration page. But in today's video, I'm going to show you a little bit further, even deeper, on how you can advance the conversion rates of this page. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to change the page this is sending them to. Then we'll set up using Thrive Leads and Thrive Optimize and the ability to increase our conversions. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So let's first just cover the big picture, kind of the strategy, where we're going today, and then we'll go in step by step. So the first one is the default registration page. There's not a whole lot you can do with that. So we're going to go ahead and put that one aside, and we'll create our own custom built with Thrive Architect registration page. So that's going to be step number 1 in redirecting the registration process to that new page. The next step on that page is using Thrive Leads. We're going to create our own custom registration area, our little widget there, that we can then do split testing within Thrive Leads. And then finally, if you stay to the end of the video, I'll show you a little bonus on what you can do even further. Okay, so that's kind of the big picture where we're going. Let's go ahead and do that now together. So let's hop out of our incognito window. Now we're back here on the back end of our website. The first thing we want to do is create a new page, and I'll do that in a new window here. Let's go ahead and call this custom registration page for Apprentice. Not the best name, but it'll work for our purposes. And what we can just go ahead and do is go straight into Thrive Architect. And now here you have the option. You could use your existing kind of header and footer and give you all these buttons here that you would have on your blog normally. But for this purpose of a squeeze page, I want to minimize the number of options I give my visitors. So I'll go ahead and go to a template. And let's just use one of the default Thrive Apprentice or Thrive Architect templates to get people to sign up. And I'll just take the Atomic, which is super simple. It doesn't get much simpler than this. We'll choose this lead generation page here and choose the template. Okay, so this will be kind of path 1 of what you can do to do your split testing with Thrive Apprentice to increase your registrations. Using just the built-in template here, we can change this header real quick. Put a little headline here, probably not the best headline, but it'll work for me. I'll put my colors into some of this here, and let's adjust this little subheader and give them some urgency and some scarcity here. We'll go ahead and connect this form to service, and now here's where some of the magic happens. So like any lead generation form, I do want to have them pulled into my email list, so I'll go ahead and set this up here. Just call them a generic subscriber for now. And for form fields, I like to keep it simple, so we'll just go with email. And post opt-in action, I'm going to, at this point, direct them back to the university. So here's one of the big differences here. So using the default registration page on Thrive Apprentice has one benefit which I have yet to figure out how to overcome. That benefit is if they're on a specific course, let's say you have 5 different courses in your school and they're trying to register for one specific course, when they click on the default registration page and they put their information in and they hit sign up, it's going to go right back into that specific course. And that way it'll be a very seamless process for them. They've registered on your site successfully. They click start course and bada bing, bada boom, they're off to the races. Having a custom registration page is kind of a bit more of a one-size-fits-all page where you're going to want to send them back to one single page as the success action. So probably the best thing to do there would be to send them to the home page, kind of the splash screen of your Thrive Apprentice school. That way they can just one more click to get back into the course they wanted to take, and they're off to the races again. So it's not that big of a deal, but it is one thing I wanted to kind of disclose here. So I'll go ahead and send them back to, if I could spell, the university. Here we are. And hit save. So now we would be done here if this was just an opt-in, but we're actually making this a registration process, which is a little bit more intense. So kind of a hidden feature, I guess, is you can go to edit here and add a second connection. So I'll edit my connections here and go back to API connections. And now I've only set up this additional way to connect, but I have my WordPress. And if you don't have that made yet, you can go to add new connections, and under add new connection here, you should be able to just select down here at the bottom here, a WordPress. It's probably because I have mine already set up, it would be somewhere around here for WordPress 1, and that is just going to create a new user when they sign up on your form here. So we'll go to WordPress account. Let's head back over here. We'll select the WordPress account, and you get to give them a specific level of access when they sign up with this specific registration page. So we'll say subscriber, continue. And now when it comes to registration pages, you have a few options here. You could not include password at all. I would highly not recommend you do that. I just think it's good for people to set their password once and for all, from the get-go. So I'm going to put password in here, and you can option and make that required, obviously. And you can optionally also put in a confirm password, which is also probably a good idea. So we'll do email, password, and confirm password, and that will be our registration page, our registration process. We'll click go here, and because we set up the post opt-in action before, it's going to retain those settings, and now we have a new form here. Let me hide myself to give you some more space to see. So now we've got email, password, confirm password, and get it now. But I honestly do not like how this looks, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of editing here and make this form look nicer. I'm just going to try to think what I want to do with it. I guess we're just going to make it probably not the prettiest, but we'll edit this area. Let's move all these fields underneath each other. Email, password, confirm password. And gosh, I'd like to do something different with this, but let's go ahead and move it under here as well. Delete this column just by hitting the delete area. So now, and that doesn't look too bad, right? Well, it's passable. Just because I'm kind of a branding guy, I want to go ahead and change my master color to my brand color, and that works nicely. And if I wanted to be kind of anal, I could go through each one of these and change the color of the boundaries. But I won't. The color of the borders, because they're green right now, but that'll work for me. And now we have a opt-in page that is not too bad looking. It's pretty obvious what you're getting here. You could add some images and things like that nature, but you have something that is passable and workable. So we'll go ahead and save our work here. And now let's just confirm that everything works. So we'll go back to our Thrive Apprentice area here, and let me just refresh this page here to make sure that it picks up the fact there's another page on my blog now. And you know what? I'm probably going to need to publish this page, won't I? So let me go into my page settings here where I created that custom registration page and just click a quick publish here. Okay, so now we have published our page. Let's go ahead and just view it real quick in an incognito window. Sign up below to get free instant access, premium courses, free for a limited time. And now when they go through this process, what's great about it is it will kind of do the password strength thing, which I think is really nice. They added it, so the longer your password is, the better it gives you. But I've just put in a password that does not work, and let's see what happens here. It's not even going to redirect me. It's not going to bounce me back to the WordPress page. It'll just tell you straight up, your password does not match, fix it. So I'm happy it's working how I want it to. Let's see how it works when we hook it up with Apprentice. So we'll go back now to our Apprentice area and refresh the page just to make sure that it picks up that new page in our area. And we'll go up here to General Settings. And under Apprentice Register Page, what I want to do, get rid of that one. And let me remember what I named this thing. So we'll call this Custom. I think we called it Custom Registration Page for Apprentice. Boom. And now we're still good. Make sure you have that show login form for not logged in users enabled. That's what's going to also show that registration button down at the bottom. So let's go ahead and test to see how this works. Scroll down, hit save. And now let's go back to our index with an incognito window. And now let's head into one of our courses once again and try to enroll here. So tell me don't have access yet, please log in or create a 100% free account to get started. They could mess around here with username and password, but let's just go straight to the register a new account here. I might need to clear my cache. Let me do that real quick. We'll get into cache later on, but it can be one of those things that gives you a little bit of a struggle when you're making some changes. and you want them to happen quickly. So I'll be right back. Let me clear both of my caches. Okay, so the cache has been cleared. Let's go ahead and open up a window again and head back to the website and head to our university. And once again, let's go ahead and try. I didn't make any changes to the apprentice settings. So let's just see if it was a memory issue, which I think it probably was. So we'll go ahead and try to register an account here. And there we go. Now it pulls us up directly to sign up below. This is our new page. So let me go ahead and create an account. Let me use a different email address real quick. Okay, so I use one of my previous email accounts, and let me go ahead and try to sign up. And you can see here, it redirected me back to my university. So this is the one thing I told you earlier. I can't go directly back into the course, but that's a very small misgiving to be able to have a custom registration page on your website. So now if I go back in, my button now shows up, the Start Course button. So that means that I have created an account on my website. That will also link into your email marketing system with no additional plugins needed. Now, let me get you into the way to increase your conversions right now. So first, let me just say, you're going to increase your conversions already by giving yourself a nice landing page instead of that default registration page that Apprentice provides you. But you can do much, much better. And let me show you how to do that. So let's go back into the page that we had built here. This is the page in Thrive Architect that we're using for our registration process. And if you're a Thrive member or if you've purchased the Thrive Optimize plugin, this is a method where you can go ahead and do an A/B test and create a new test on this page. Let's go ahead and click that guy here. And now you have the options here. You could try to just change the headline, or you could try to change everything about the page and see which one's going to convert better. For the sake of the argument here, let's just clone this page. Now this creates a complete copy of the page we just made, and we can go in to edit this variation. And let's say we're going to just change the color scheme up a little bit. So here where we had free instant access as being the orange text, let's make this text black. And let's make sign up below orange. So just a very, not the best split test you can do here. And actually to that point, I do have one of my courses in Enroll University, which is all about increasing your conversions using smart split testing. I go through entire lectures on how to prioritize and pick the right split test for each step in your process. So if you want to, I'll send a link up to that course, and you can also just go to enkamesh.com and sign up there to get that free course as well. The course is called Convert. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so back here, we now have two different variations. Let's save our work here on this variation. And let's just briefly take a look at it on tablet. Looks good. And on mobile, looks good as well. So we can go back to our A/B test area. And you can see here what's nice is that the image does show the reflections you just made, the changes you just made there. So what we can do now is set up and start an A/B test. And we can name it. And you can go ahead and give some automatic winner settings, which basically Thrive are very smart people, and they're good at statistics. That's what they do here. So just trust what they have here. It's going to run a minimum of 100 people signing up and 14 days of running the test before they can say this version is running better than that version. So that's all well and good. We'll click next. And then because we're doing that opt-in form, that lead generation form, we can just use the subscriptions goal. That's going to make sure that it counts a successful action every time somebody actually registers for your website. And that's what it just says there. So you can start the test and you will be good to go. So you'll notice here on your page settings, you'll now have this Thrive Optimize A/B test overview. You can adjust how much traffic goes to one version or the next, et cetera, et cetera. But once you're here, what you'll notice is the edit page button is missing. So Thrive is, they're smart guys. They're not going to let you tinker around with the page once the test is already set up. So my advice to you is if you're going to run a split test like this, make sure everything's working right. Test it just with the individual variation before you get into the actual split test process. So we'll go ahead and just update the page to kind of make sure all those settings are saved. And that will wrap up the first method of running split tests with your registration page. Let me go ahead and just briefly show you the second method of doing that, and then we will call it a night. So what we're going to do for this one is we're going to go into Thrive Dashboard and our Thrive Leads plugin, and we're going to create a new Thrive Leads short code. We'll just add a new one here, call it Registration Demo, and add the short code. Let's find it here. Registration, edit the form. We'll create a new form. We'll call this custom registration. Create a form. Okay, so once we're here, we're going to go ahead and edit the design of this. And again, let me just kind of tell you the strategy of why we're doing what we're doing here. So there's two ways of doing this. One is you just create the page in Thrive Architect and then split test the different pages against each other to see which one works better. That is a very good option. Another option is if you make one page and you embed a Thrive Leads shortcode, you basically pull in a Thrive Leads element onto that page, you can split test within Thrive Leads and create different form types and pull those in. And it'll kind of achieve the same goal. It's really up to you. If you don't have Thrive Optimize and you do have Thrive Leads, obviously you'll do that method, vice versa. There is a benefit in doing it the Thrive Leads method, which we're doing right here. And that main benefit is if you're looking at Thrive Leads to see all your sign up stats, like how many people are signing up for your website, it has to be a Thrive Leads code for it to track that as a conversion. If you just pull in a landing page from their template and you use that, it's not going to show you the number of conversions in your Thrive Leads dashboard. So it's a very small thing. You kind of pick your poison, or as you're going through this, just pick which method you think is easier and which you like to do more and go for it. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and design our form here. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this. I just want to show you how to do a quick split test using Thrive Leads. And then you can imagine you just dump it into a page and you're good to go as well. So here, let's just pick a template. I'm feeling lazy. We'll pick this guy here. Okay, so we've loaded up, hi, I'm Joe, close to my name, so we'll take it. I won't do any customization on the page itself, but let me do the same thing here with the actual sign up form, where we'll connect it to our CRM. All good. This is, carbon copy what we just did. And again, our custom redirect URL, we want to send them back to the homepage of our courses. So that's good. And now we'll go right back in and edit that API connection. And now add the WordPress account. So this is going to, like we just saw in the other one, allow them to put their password and require it, and put in their confirm password and require it. And bada bing, bada boom. So this is all set to go. What we're going to be able to do now is just preview this on different devices. Obviously, your form gets a little bit longer because you're adding a couple of fields. I'm currently testing only having the password field once, and that's purely, this could come back to bite me, but my thought process is, most people, they're using the password they're used to using, doing the confirm password. Personally, I've never entered my password in and then made a typo because I'm entering it in carefully. So my hypothesis on this little test here is that by having one less field, it should increase my conversions. And if they happen to forget their password or put it in wrong, they can always say that they forgot their password. So that's my guess. But you guys, you do you and decide what works best for you. So we have our Thrive Leads code here. So let's go ahead and exit this and head back to our area here, our Thrive Leads, where we can see this registration shortcode. I'll just refresh the page to make sure that it has the most recent version of what we just built. And now what we can do is just clone this guy. And this is all, like, Thrive Leads is set up for split testing. So you don't need to go to any fancy work around to actually create the split test. You just clone this page, and then you can make some adjustments here. So let's, again, just adjust something on this page to show you that we're doing a split test. And I'll just change the image from this guy over to, let's just call it, let's just go for this image here. It's really nothing to do with what we're talking about, but this is, you'd be able to change anything you'd want to on it. And I'm not Joe, I'm John. So I'll change my name there. And we'll save and exit this guy. That's all you have to do to create a split test within Thrive Leads. So we'll go back to the area here. And now that you have two forms set up, there's a little variation to them. You can just say start A/B test. And again, title your test. So we'll call this registration test 2. And very similar to Thrive Optimize, we'll do automatic winner settings, enable those. And you'll notice, if you are astute, that the exact same settings between both methods, which is good. So we'll start the test. And now we have a test running, and you'll be able to get all the test data once you start getting some traffic running to that area. So the last thing we would need to do to make this actually work is, once again, we're going to create a new page, a new landing page. And instead of doing a split test with Thrive Optimize, we'll just pull in this Thrive Leads shortcode onto the page, and then all the split testing will be taken care of for us. So let's call this custom registration 2. And we will, let me show you another way. I'm currently using a Thrive theme. So they have a nice landing page template, which I like it. It still keeps the theme intact, but it takes away a lot of the buttons, a lot of the mess, which can distract your users. So I'll save a draft here and launch Thrive Architect, and let's just show you how easy this is to do. Okay, so we pulled up our page, and in hindsight, I should have hidden the post title, so we'll do that in just a second. But let me just pull in our Thrive. Typing in Thrive, it'll show you the Thrive Leads shortcode. I'll just tap on that guy. And now I can look for my custom registration. What did I call it? Let me hit a quick refresh. All right, well, I'm here in my Thrive Leads dashboard, and for whatever reason, I'm not able to get it to automatically pull in to my architect, but luckily they give you the shortcode right here. So what I'm going to do is just copy this shortcode. I think it's because I have a test currently running. You might need to actually put it in your page before you start the test, but it's all the same. Let's go back to our area here and put in a shortcode. Thrive Leads shortcode. Let's try this one more time. I was curious. So we'll do a WordPress content. That's where you put your shortcodes in. And I'll just type in that shortcode and hit save. And now you can see the shortcode showing up there nicely. And you could put anything else in here like you'd want. But now once we hit save and exit, the split testing will already be handled through our configuration using Thrive Leads. And here you go. So now when I look at the page here, it's going to look, very nice, very kind of themed and all that good stuff. One thing that you want to just be aware of if you're going this second route, let me publish the page and show you what you're going to find and see if it's important to you or not. So pay attention. I'm going to right click on this and say open link in an incognito window, and you'll notice the page will load first, and then the Thrive Leads will kind of dissolve or magically appear slightly delayed. And that's because using the JavaScript, I won't get all the techie details, but essentially the page is loading, and then the page is triggering JavaScript, which is going to say Thrive Leads, hey, you've got a split test running, what version you want to serve up, and then it will send that version in. Now, it's not going to bother really any of your visitors. If you're looking at it and you're wondering why is it doing that, that's why, is because it's kind of doing a second kind of round of code there, which is no problem. But on Thrive Optimize, the first method we talked about, it's not going to really have that problem. It's going to load your page a little bit slower because it's kind of doing that split testing, that decision making before the page is loading on your website. So you pick whichever one works for you. Honestly, they're both going to be equally effective. They're the same split testing methodologies. It's really up to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of just wrap this up and once again bring it back to the big picture of the strategy here. So the whole goal of this video was to help you increase your conversion rates when people are signing up for your Thrive Apprentice school. The huge value in Thrive Apprentice is being able to offer premium courses for email addresses. And it builds a great relationship, it builds great trust and authority. So you want to make sure your registration process kind of reflects that. If you show them just a blank page with a whole bunch of fields they need to fill out, it can not be the highest converting option there. So using Thrive Architect and Thrive Optimize, you have the ability to do some split testing and add whatever custom fields you want into the process. And also using Thrive Leads and their split testing engine, you can do some pretty powerful stuff in whichever way it makes more sense to you. My personal preference, what I'm doing on my website today, is I am using the Thrive Leads option because I like to have a central place to get the statistics on how my conversions are going on my website. If you do the Thrive Architect and Thrive Optimize method, it's going to be it's not going to show all the same metrics there. You might need to go into your email system to determine how your conversion rates are doing. And that's not a problem, but I like how Thrive reports their data, so that's the way that I go. So I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed this and want to get more techie tutorials to improve your conversion rates and all the aspects of your online business, go ahead and click the subscribe button below and the little bell to be notified when I release my next video. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm John from Incomesh.com. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.